New Zealand have completed a thumping win against South Africa. Um, Completely dominated us. They won by an innings and 276 runs. They completely outperformed South Africa in every single department, whether it be bowling, fielding, batting. Just as a cricketing unit, they just looked far superior. Now, I don't necessarily believe that this was a true reflection of what South Africa is capable of as a team. We saw what we can do against India, but there were still signs in that India game, in that India series, of this still being able to happen. Us being able to be dominated like this was still there. Even though we beat India, I still had concerns over certain things. And New Zealand exploited those concerns. We are struggling, well, majority at least of the top order batters are struggling against the moving deliveries and moving balls, struggling to read the swing deliveries. Um, it's been pretty easy for any good bowler to set us up. And even against India, that happened too. Easily set up for the outside edge, easily set up for the LBW. So that's something that South Africa needs to work on. Now, Dean Alga obviously spoke in his press conference, and we'll be discussing that a little later to talk about what Dean Alga had to say and when it comes to this particular match. But generally speaking, it was just a hard performance from South Africa, and Dean admitted that it was a poor performance, and they were dominated in every department. And at least he's being honest about that. But we need more. We need more from this unit. We need more from this batting unit specifically. We can't go into matches expecting our bowlers just to save us every single time. That wasn't going to last forever. We had to also come to the party with the bat. And there are too many players currently out of form in the top order, and it's causing a problem. We can't have a game plan where if Dean Alga scores runs, then we will have a chance of winning. If Dean Alga's off form and he's not coming to the party, then others need to step up. Now, our new guys never necessarily stood out. Asal Irve never really showed anything that we can really be happy about. But then again, it's only been one game. We can't necessarily go and call for his head immediately. When it comes to Aiden Markram, he's been in terrible form, as you know, an average of 9 in 10 matches. Um, a consideration of dropping him is definitely on the cards based on that performances. But generally speaking, I wasn't impressed. Sometimes I think I was like, oh no, I stayed up for nothing. But that's the sacrifice that you're willing to make for the Proteas as fans of the Proteas. And we will continuously make those sacrifices no matter what the team is going through. So that's the kind of situation that we're in. We're going to be chatting about this on the show. Don't forget to obviously subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe and do all of those things, please. And let's get straight into today's video. I don't know who's going to be joining us. I have put the link in the various groups. Let's see who joins us. But for now, you guys have an opportunity to call in on the show. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat. So go ahead to the live chat to check that out. Let's get straight into today's video. Morning, everybody. Different type of day for us to shoot this video. We bring you a morning show. We don't normally do a show on a Saturday, but I thought that for this particular game, it was necessary that we do so, and that's why we're going to be chatting today about this particular game. I've given my verdict about what I thought the Proteas' performance was like, lackluster. underperformed, low on energy, which was admitted by Dean Alger in the presser. Um, Hoping that we can get some energy in other aspects of the game or going into the next game. Didn't want to make excuses, but did mention the quarantine, the low energy, not having a warm up game before this test match. You can see that it did affect South Africa, but it's not an excuse for the way we performed. I mean, I think South African fan base and all of us over here would probably be happy if or would not be happy, but would be okay if South Africa put on a performance and fought. But I don't think that being bowled out for 95 and bowled out for 111 is anything to be proud about, of course. And the way we performed, allowing ourselves to concede 482 runs, particularly because of poor bowling and not no consistency, that is not something that we can sit here and compliment. There aren't many things that we really can compliment. I mean, even when a batter did look like they were starting to settle in and get stuck in, they lost their wickets. So that happened to Zubair Ramza, that happened to Temba Bavuma, that happened to Kyle Verreynne. It's been happening, and these starts and not converting and not pushing through. It's been happening. You know, Keegan Peterson was sorely missed. You could see his approach to the game. Why the players never took on what some of the lessons that he portrayed in the last series against India, I don't know. I don't know why they were so defensive as well. If they saw that it wasn't working, definitely that defensive mindset did not work in the first innings. Why a continuation of that particular batting method and mentality happened is beyond me. When we attacked and when we were a little bit more aggressive and tried to get on top of the bowlers, we got more success that way. And from the get go, this was a match or a battle for survival from South Africa when it comes to our batting team. It's pure and simple. We came out there even defending half volleys and trying to, I don't know why, but not trying to attack those short deliveries with conviction. Um, Wafting away at things that are wide and short, um, not playing convincingly off the front foot, not getting to the pitch of the ball when it was available to do so, playing at deliveries unnecessarily that were wide and had no possibility of hitting the stumps. Now, yes, I can say that Jameson, for example, Tim Southey, for example, even Henry got the opportunity to be able to move the ball quite steeply in and swing it in. But surely the rest of the batters, other than the guys that got good deliveries, could have handled that. I think there was something like 14 catches in the slips from New Zealand perspective. That's very poor from South Africa. That we not it didn't even take good deliveries to get us out. It's important that in Test cricket that you make sure that the bowlers, you make them play. Make sure that they're not just in a groove and just going through the motions. You make it hard to get you out. You make it tough for them to get you out. You treasure your wicket. And that also includes leaving the ball with conviction. Um, because you can show how confident you are. You can show your hand and what your intent is by even leaving with authority. Now, that does sound a little bit contradicting, but it's possible. When Jacques Callis used to leave the delivery, it used to send a message to the bowlers saying, I'm ready for you. I'm prepared for anything that you guys have to throw at us. I'm prepared for anything that you guys have in your arsenal. So it gives a mindset shift when it comes to South Africa. It gives a mindset shift with regards to the bowlers. You, we came here playing into New Zealand's hands. We knew that swing was going to be an issue with their bowlers. We spoke about it quite in length, and South Africa fell for the trap. It's as simple as that. Um, There's nothing really that we can talk about from a positive point of view, and that's really upsetting. As a South African cricket fan, it's really upsetting, and I hope that there is some improvement going into the next match. As you guys know, I have put you might not know, I put the call-in link in the description so you guys can call in and have your say. Let's read some of your comments out and have a little chat. It was a beatdown of the highest order, like Rafa did to Roger at 2008 Roland Garros. Roger at least lost the greatest clay court to the greatest clay court player of all time. But these guys lost to New Zealand, not the Aussies of 2000. While we did lose to the Test champions, they're not Test champions for no reason. So I think that's a little bit harsh to say that. Um, we lost to a very good New Zealand team who's very good in their own conditions. Plain and simple, an indication of that is Tim Southee getting his 200th wicket in New Zealand. And if you look at his wickets against in other countries, doesn't even come close. We did play against a unit that play very well in their conditions, particularly this unit, this team. Yes, South Africa's never lost a series to New Zealand, and that's obviously because for various reasons, maybe New Zealand weren't on top of their game. South Africa played good cricket back then. They're not in a situation where they only have 2 3 senior players in the team that have experience from before. Majority of the players back then were very experienced and knew their game and understood their game well. South Africa currently still have 3 4 players in this batting lineup in the top six trying to find their game, still trying to get a handle of their own game and understanding of their own game. Holly, don't we have bowlers for these type of conditions? All of our bowlers like to bowl the short lengths, need Philander and Steyn like bowlers. Well, Anik Nokia would have provided something different, some pace, some movement. KG Rabada is supposed to be that guy for us. He hasn't necessarily been in his best form recently. He's trying to find his rhythm, and I'm sure that he will. I know he hasn't necessarily been at his best, but I'm sure he will get there, and he'll be the same KG that we used to have and used to know. He will lose some pace as he gets older, but still, we wanted control from KG. That's what made him lethal. And I'm sure that he will get better and better as time goes by. We need to be patient with him. He's allowed to have some off performances. He's been so consistent for so long. So we can give KG a little bit of slack and a little bit of leeway. But there are some players in the squad, like I mentioned on yesterday's show, talking about previewing the next day. From a South African batting perspective, we haven't been good for a while. In 14 matches played since Boucher took over, South Africa haven't necessarily been settled. There was always something when you looked at the team. There was always some sort of doubt that we had as a fan base when we looked at that batting lineup. I've never felt actually comfortable when I looked at that batting lineup. So there's always been a area in the team that needed work, and we were always looking for a player in a specific position that, especially in important positions like openers, like number threes, like number fours, it's been an issue for a while. I mean, to say that Pemba Bavuma has been our best batter in stats over the last 14 games should come as a shock to some of us who have not been Bavuma fans, and it shows the problem. I mean, even Dean Elgar hasn't averaged above 40 in the last 14 test matches. So even he has struggled. And when he doesn't perform, it looks like South Africa has no plan to move forward and win games. Now, he has sporadically scored runs, and we need a more of a consistent performances from him as our captain towards the end of his career. We need an opening partner perhaps for him. If they're not going to trust Aiden Markram as an opener, then Aiden Markram needs to be dropped and go play some 4-day cricket and get his mojo back. I think this momentum 1-day cup, if it falls into a nice time, then and Aiden is available to play, maybe he should go play there. I know that there's another T20 World Cup we're preparing for. There's a 2023 World Cup we're preparing for. But we need to make sure that we handle our Test Championship team, because we are not getting enough games in either. And that's also a worry. We're not getting enough playing time in. We're getting these two series, test series in between, which I don't really like. At least three tests series I would appreciate. But I'm obviously putting emphasis on the batters because clearly they never scored runs. That's where we lost this game. Yes, we could have bowled better. Yes, there was periods where we were on top of New Zealand. We weren't ruthless enough. I have been a little critical of South Africa in the past because they haven't necessarily been critical and they haven't necessarily been deadly in when it comes to the tail. We always seem to concede a lot of runs towards the end of an innings, and that's bad. But unfortunately, we need to sort out our batting. Flipping hell, it's I can't be saying this for 2 years. It's by this time it's just going to become repetitive and redundant because we can't keep performing like this. We need to find a way on when things are difficult for us, how we're going to battle it out. Whether that's personnel that maybe don't have a strong enough mindset to push through, or whether that's the game plan that we have that is incorrect. We need to sort it out. We need to find out what's wrong and what's happening. Um, I honestly haven't, even against India, when we played in India and we got completely dominated, I never felt as empty as I feel right now about this performance. Because at least I knew then that we have some serious problems that we need to sort out. And India just played to their conditions perfectly. But over here, there were some opportunities for us to get on top of New Zealand, and we never took it. It's like you have the perfect shot. If you're a hunter, I don't hunt, but I'm assuming you have the perfect shot and you let it run away after 6 hours of hunting, for example. Like, isn't that just a waste of time from a hunter's point of view? I'm not really a fan of hunting, to be fair. I don't know why I use that as an example, but we threw no punches, no counterattacks, no effort was made of an honest change in mentality. Temba Bavuma on day 2 showed it towards the end of that day. He showed that if you can get on top of the bowlers and try and attack them and put some of the balls away, you're putting pressure on them. And we never did that on day 3. I mean, yes, losing 3 wickets didn't help so early, but I would have expected a little bit more from Rassi, expected more from Temba. Under difficult circumstances, Temba got on 41, but I would have hoped that he could have pushed on. But I think the thing that I'm most upset about is the effort. It's the effort. I don't think any Proteas players would walk out there not wanting to play for the country, not putting 100% effort in. But the effort was poor, and it was not very. It wasn't very nice to witness and see such a lackluster performance in every department, even the field. Now, normally that's where South Africa will try and get some momentum back in the field with good fielding and clinical fielding and energy in the field. And our, our plans were all wrong. Our bowling plans, our batting plans. And at what stage do we start blaming our coaches for that? Because I think we were lucky against New Zealand in the Test series. There were aspects in there where I felt, oh, you know what? Even though we won, there were still concerns. But it's just frustrating that, especially when I see our team perform this way against seamers, that's when I really get irritated. Because that is something that South Africa should be a lot better against. But we have seen that in recent times when the ball is moving around, that we haven't been able to keep up, and we haven't been able to perform free flowingly like we normally do. So yeah, we've been pretty damn average, and we need to sort this out. Now, from my perspective, that means that whatever selection idea that they're using or selection mentality that they have, it hasn't been working. So picking these experienced players means that these older and experienced players need to perform then. They need to come onto the scene like Rassi van der Dussen did and put on performances. Because frankly, I like to do an investment rather and put players in the team that are going to be there for the next 5 to 6, 7 years. Maybe for the next two test championships, we have a solid team that can play. Um, Instead of giving guys that are opportunities that we're going to need to change after 2 seasons anyway, then what? How are you building and improving? We're just going to be sticking to the same mentality consistently instead of trying to build a team that is of championship level. The test championship, being a test championship, allows us to be able to do that now. It allows us to see and monitor the situation. If we are out of the race and we are not performing the way we were meant to, then it's an opportunity for you guys to get an opportunity. Like I think at this time in the second test, we're going to have to see Ryan Rickleton play. Like we thought we were going to see him play in the first test. Unfortunately, we didn't. Now, who you drop for that, that's up to South Africa. I don't care, frankly. But I think guys need to be given opportunity. I don't think anybody's safe in this team. Anybody, including the captain. I think that he needs to feel the pressure as well and be under pressure and know that his position is not 100% either safe. Because on logic and on statistics, then that means Temba Bavuma should be the only safe person in this team because his average is way higher than the rest of this team in the last 14 games. And you have to obviously assess this from when Boucher took over. We can't go before that. I don't think it's fair on anybody to go before that because they know you are mixing game plans, mixing thought processes, etc. So from the moment Boucher took over till now, it hasn't been good enough in Test cricket. I can see in white ball cricket there are some great signs. We're producing some great players in the domestic scene. They can come into the team and perform well. And I feel that if they get given opportunities, they'll show that. But come on, guys, scoring 350 plus in Test cricket needs to be easier than it has been for South Africa. We need to sort this out. And when we look at stats and when we look at players in domestic setup, like Herschel Gibbs said on a tweet, if a player is not scoring hundreds at domestic level, how do you expect him to score hundreds at international level? We need to also look at details on where those players performed. It's pointless playing you doing well in the domestic season, but all your scores are coming from one flat ground in South Africa or a ground that is easy to score on. It's pointless us you performing in those games only, and then when the ball's swinging around or spinning, you perform poorly. I mean, because that means then if you're going to play against any half decent test team, you're going to struggle. So I think a lot more scouting and in-depth scouting needs to take place at domestic level to find the right players that have the right character and mentality to play for South Africa. That needs to take place. Not just, oh, he's been toiling away in domestic cricket for 5, 6 years and he hasn't been given an opportunity. It's so unfair. If he's not the right man mentally, mentality wise, and he's not the right man attitude wise, and he's not the right man technically speaking, don't pick him. And that's why I'm calling out for South Africa to have a lot more inter squad games, matches where the emerging sides, the under 19 sides, the SAA sides, the South African Proteas side are playing against each other in the off season and having opportunities to show what they are capable of. Even if the main Proteas aren't available, the fringe players at least play them against each other and let them see each other and see what they're capable of against each other. Also, more tours, more SIA tours, more emerging tours. These things need to happen, and I know that CSA are um, in financial ruins at the moment, and they haven't been in a financial space that is positive for a long time. But I don't think that South Africa have the luxury of players feeling safe that their position is safe. because it just hasn't been good enough from the top order for a top six for a very long time. We lost one of our best players in Quentin de Kock, and Calvarena has only shown bits and pieces of what he can do. But it's not fair to also judge him because he's coming here, making debuts, he's trying to make a name for himself in a team that is completely lackluster. We can't be sitting in situations where your top four, where your number four is coming in as an opener consistently over and over again. When are they ever going to be able to play their own natural game if they constantly have to change their game to difficult situations that they've been put in recently? It's been pathetic. It's been absolutely poor. We need to sort it out, and we need to sort it out soon, because we wasted an opportunity when Boucher came in a test championship that we knew we weren't going to compete in, to give people opportunities. When there were players in the team that were experienced, like Hashim Amla, like Jacques Callis, like um, Dale Steyn, like A.B. de Villiers, like Morne Morkel, we failed to give players the opportunity to learn from these players. We failed to identify talent early and give them extended runs in the team. We have failed to implement the transformation requirements and quota system correctly, that players aren't treated unfairly. We've almost used the transformation targets as a scapegoat to blame it on poor performances. It almost seems that way. Zubair Hamza never looked like he was going to even play a match or go on this tour. And all of a sudden, he's in the first 11. No preparation whatsoever. And you expect him to put on a performance and show what he's capable of and take his chances. It doesn't happen like that with everybody. It doesn't. It didn't happen like that for Carlos in the beginning of his career. And he went on to be a magnificent player because someone believed in him, trusted him, and helped him get where he is today. So something needs to change. Something needs to improve. I wouldn't be sitting here so upset and so sad about this if we put on a proper performance and fought till the end, properly fought. Because if we were going to lose our wickets the way we did defending, then by God, it's almost like Manchester United. We go down like playing this possession football, making no chances and go down losing. I'd rather see us go down playing attacking football or playing a great brand of football. It's the same with cricket. I'd rather see us go down actually trying to put runs on the board, not just survive. Survive from day one, from the opening ball. This wasn't good enough, guys. So that's my rant. That's my review of the game. Well done to New Zealand, though. Matt Henry really stepped up. In the absence of Trent Boult, for example, absence of Kane Williamson, absence of Ross Taylor, the guy stepped up and performed excellently, and he needs to get recognition for that. Tim Southee is phenomenal. We knew he's going to bother us. I mean, I spoke about Tim Southee before this game already. If I can pick it up, then I'm sure selectors and the rest can pick it up too. They need to have a long look at the footage, analyze where things have gone wrong, and change the approach. Because I don't like how defensive we were in this test with the bat. And maybe I don't know anything that I'm talking about. I mean, I would obviously get nicked off, or I would probably get nicked off instantly if I walk out into the middle, but I'm not a cricketer. I'm not a professional cricketer. So we can't compare myself to those cricketers and what will happen to me. But at least change the approach. At least play with the right attitude and the right mentality. And I don't believe that these players want to play badly. There's no way. They love this badge too much. They love this country too much. You can see that they're willing to sacrifice their reputations for the betterment of this country. So many of these players have done so, and I'm so proud that they've done so. And I commend them for doing that. But something needs to change. And we need to improve these performances. And I want to see an improvement in the second test. At least. I mean, if we don't win it, at least put in a proper, valiant effort, dear boys. Please. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for joining in on the Saturday show. We don't normally have a Saturday show, so please smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future video, as well as subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen, and in the description. You can also help us out a lot, guys, by becoming a Patreon. You'll be involved with keeping everything alive here at Cricket Fanatics Magazine, because we are 100% bootstrapped, and we don't have any advertisers yet. We're working hard on getting that. So we need your help. And our Patreons and our super chats, etc., are helping keeping things alive. So get involved with the Patreon. The link is on the screen and in the description as well. Smash the like button, of course, and comment and do all of those things. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in and supporting us. We'll see you again tomorrow with another podcast show. We will discuss a major topic with a panel. Hopefully, a massive panel will come through tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you very, very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Try to enjoy it as much as possible. And yeah, no cricket from a national performance point of view, but there will be some CSA T20 challenge to talk about. So go ahead and enjoy that too. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers, everybody, and enjoy your weekend.